Okay, guys. So Alex Jones might be a fraud.
What a horrible thing to come back from Japan to.
He's Alex Jones is in a custody battle for his kids, and his lawyer, in order to sway the jury, is apparently claiming that Alex Jones is a character he plays on TV.
Yeah.
And not actually him. But his wife claims that that's really him.
Yeah, she said he's not a stable person, right? Like, yeah. I saw this news earlier. It's
such a goddamn shame. That's what it fucking is.
I can't believe he lied to us this whole time.
Now I know when he's sitting there and banging on his table and going, "They're putting chemicals in the water to turn the frogs gay. It's all a hoax." Who am I supposed to believe now?
Who's gonna lead us all through the truth war?
Who's gonna make me buy pills that are actually they're actually baking powder, but they make you feel real good?
Who's gonna warn me about the goblins, the dangers of goblins and Bill Gates?
Sleeping in bed with a goblin.
Yeah, I'm Bill Gates. Yeah.
He really fucking hates Bill Gates. After last Pood, I did go and watch a bunch of highlights.
Yes!
It was... I was so baffled I couldn't laugh at all. I was... I just had my jaw open half the time.
Alex Jones is a very special human being.
It's a real eye-opener.
You can apply whatever connotation to the word special you want.
Especially beautiful. Especially handsome.
Activating my
especially woke.
I love
this
the way
is the
his
worst
skin
intro
hangs
to this.
off of his chin.
This is the worst intro we've ever done.
Special like Kawlun's trip to Japan. Tell us about your trip to Japan.
The worst segue we've ever done. I mean, I don't know. Would you guys like me to do like the play-by-play?
How much Alex Jones did you watch in Japan?
Not enough. Not enough to prepare me for this tragedy that we learned about.
One sec. So, on the last Pood, Colin was talking about his stupid $30 Power Rangers morpher.
Oh, yeah!
He has sent that my way. It is now in my hand right now. It makes noises. It's incredible.
And today I learned at the same Toys R Us they have one based on the reboot, which according to Brian isn't even in the fucking movie.
Okay, see, the coins are in the movie, the power belt's in the movie, it's just not a morpher. They don't actually use a morpher. It's like... I don't know how to describe it other than them just like...
Them just fucking up the canon. Them just ruining everything forever.
It's literally like Danny Phantom going ghost. That's how they morph.
Got a blast. Did you guys
It's
know...
not even the right show.
I know. Did you guys know that the first year the Academy Awards did Best Animated Feature was 2001, and Shrek won?
Yeah.
And the competition was Monsters, Inc. and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius?
Okay.
I mean, when you're up against those, Shrek's kind of the better film.
Then Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say
Monsters,
Monsters, Inc.
I think it's one of the weaker, like, good Pixar movies.
I agree,
Keyword good.
but I don't know if I'd say it's better than Shrek.
Worse than Shrek. That's what you mean.
Oh, yeah. But I wouldn't say it was worse than Shrek.
I love Shrek 1, though.
Definitely not as good as Shrek
great.
2, though. Shrek 2 is like a genuinely feel-good comedy of the summer.
I love
watched
Shrek 2.
Shrek 3 the other day.
Oh,
and I can't
no.
believe
Oh
that
my
movie
God.
even exists.
You poor
Don't
baby.
watch the fourth one.
The pop culture references are up the ass. Jesus Christ.
And the writing gets really awkward.
The saddest death scene happens. The fucking Frog King dies.
Oh, yeah,
oh my god, I cried.
John Cleese dies, and they cover a... don't they cover Live and Let Die at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
It's so out of place.
It's so stupid.
I've suppressed that movie from memory. It was bad.
Did you catch all of the XD lol Monty Python references in that movie?
I didn't watch for very long.
Oh, because like the whole meme of Shrek 3 was that they got John Cleese and Eric Idle in it. So they put a lot of Monty Python and the Holy Grail references in it at the very beginning. When Prince Charming is doing his little show, they have a dude banging on coconuts to make a horse sound.
Oh.
And King Arthur is also in the movie, and they do all these, like, references, and apparently Eric Idle, being the piece of shit that he is, was actually thinking about suing them for referencing a movie from the 70s. I love Monty Python, but Eric Idle's a piece of shit. He's the Dan Aykroyd of Monty Python. He's just a...
King Arthur is Justin Timberlake, isn't he?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
From that era where you just put Justin Timberlake in animated... well, I mean, they still do that.
Justin Timberlake is truly the star of our generation.
It's 17 years, and he still hasn't gone away.
It's 17 years and he still hasn't gotten a good role.
Oof. What are you talking about? Jimmy Fallon's best friend is his best role yet.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I went to Japan recently. And it was really comfy. It was really cozy. Keep in mind, I only stayed in, like, urban in Japan. I didn't go to rural Japan, which is like a whole separate country, basically. Because it's so culturally different, which is what kind of like took me aback about visiting urban Japan, is that I don't think there is. Most people see Japan as being the super exotic country, and why wouldn't they? It's on the other side of the fucking world. But like, I think as far as like a random American going to another country is concerned, Japan is probably like the most simple thing you could possibly do, because urban Japan works on like the same exact systems as like any urban like American city. Like, as someone who visits New York City a lot, like going around Tokyo is roughly the same exact thing. You walk around and then you go on a subway. Like, it's really familiar. English is a second language over there. If you don't know much Japanese, you really only need to know 5 phrases, which is, I'll just say the English versions, which is hello, thank you, where is, I want this, and, I'm sorry / excuse me. Like, that's really all you need to know. If you see anything in English, usually you can just say that thing in English and the person knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There are vending machines on every street corner. Video games weren't lying. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
How many used panty vending machines?
I actually didn't see any. They were all,
wow.
They do exist, but they're like very difficult to find. They're like,
I'll get to the smut later.
But like, yeah, no, like there's vending machines, and it's so fucking cool because they have like everything from water to fruit drinks to juice to soda to coffee to tea. Like, they have everything in them. And if you go to one that doesn't have the thing you want, just go like 1 block down and you'll probably find it. Convenience stores are every couple of blocks. Convenience stores are huge over there. They're like the equivalent of they're not as sad or desperate as American convenience stores. They're almost like delis or bodegas. They just like have everything, and the quality's like real good.
Okay.
It's fresh and clean. It makes you feel like a nice boy. And everything's really cheap too. Like, food over there is I mean $10 or 1,000 yen goes a long way. And that's the other thing. The currency conversion is also really fucking easy. Because 1 yen is approximately, roughly 1 cent. So if you have a 1,000 yen bill, you just picture an imaginary decimal point, like right smack dab in the middle, and boom, it's a $10 bill. To one's imagination.
Yeah, that's like the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah, no, it makes going around like so fucking easy. I just spilt water on me slightly. Oh no.
It's gonna be 10,000
Everything's ruined.
yen.
Yeah, it's just $100. Everything's fucking ruined. So on the first,
I'm gonna get electrocuted in about 2.0 seconds.
No, it was on a leather chair. I'm fine.
I gotta ask you though, how much is like a typical soda from a vending machine over there?
It's 100 yen.
Okay, that's what I would assume. That's because while you were having a trip in Japan, I was having a digital trip in Japan, and sodas in Persona 5 cost like $5 fucking, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
500 yen.
Yeah, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. There's no way that's real.
It's anywhere between 100 and like 140 yen. Like they're not that much. I think like coffee and stuff is certainly more expensive, but soda is just like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everything is like really cheap over there. Like on the second day, I got breakfast that consisted of a fruit sandwich, which may be my new favorite thing ever. It's strawberries, custard, and then like I think cream cheese on bread. It's super light, super fluffy, it's super sweet, it's super delicious. And I got that, a cup of pineapple, a cup of coffee, and then like the most Japanese thing I ate while over there, the jumbo American dog, which I'll get to in a second. And that was all like 800 yen. Like it was a ton of food for $8, and that's perfectly okay. Like, it is amazing. Like, you can basically, without buying anything extra, you could live in Japan for like $30 a day. Remember that Rachel Ray show? Like, $40 a day or whatever?
No.
Oh, well, it was a whole meme about Rachel Ray going, I'm gonna eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner for only $40 a day. And the reason why that show idea was so ridiculous was, like, food's not that cheap, which is fucking ridiculous to think about. But in Japan, it really is. And you'll still have a ton of money left over to go to an arcade and play Left 4 Dead Arcade like I did.
Isn't that the one with the schoolgirls?
Yes. I believe the idea is that there's like an English teacher and like 3 of his Japanese students, which would explain why they're in Louisiana.
Okay.
Because remember, Left 4 Dead 2 takes place in, like, very obviously Southern America and nowhere else.
Wait, don't you play Left 4 Dead Arcade with the mouse and keyboard?
You play with a mouse, like a Razer gaming mouse, and then it's like a Wii nunchuck.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There's
yeah,
not
it's
much
actually
movement in Left 4 Dead anyway.
Well, I mean, there's not really much else you need to do, you know, other than that. Like, you can crouch and jump and move with that little stick. It's pretty clear cut. It's just Left 4 Dead, though. But it's like, the mileage you can get out of some of these arcade machines are ridiculous, because, like, when you put in 100 yen, which is $1, and you put it, like, you can play, like, 3 whole campaigns on, and they only have them on easy. Like, that's like well over an hour of just dicking around in Left 4 Dead, because Left 4 Dead on easy it's Left 4 Dead on easy. It's super fucking easy. You can't die at the difficulty unless you actually try to. But yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Oh. You have something to tell us?
Maybe it's the people I play with, or maybe it's me, but...
Jesus Christ.
Left 4 Dead 2 always overwhelms my team.
When I was a youngin' and I played Left 4 Dead 1 on my Xbox, those were the sour days. My friends and I always played on Expert. We never played on anything else.
Left 4 Dead 1's easier, though. There's way less zombies.
Well, there's less special infected.
There's just way less zombies in general. Like, if you play the Left 4 Dead 2 versions of the Left 4 Dead 1 levels, they're way unbalanced.
Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of, like, fuck you spots. But going back to Japan, oh no. So on day one... Oh yeah, let me tell you about the Jumbo American dog. So, corn dogs are good. We have them here in America. They're pretty alright. But they don't have corn in Japan. So, how are they going to do the cornbread dough that makes a corn dog? It's simple. You don't. You use donut dough.
Oh. Huh.
And it's real good. It's real tasty. The dough to dog ratio is 2-to-1. Brian, are you still on push to talk?
No.
Okay.
I'm here.
checking.
I'm just like letting you talk about it because you wanted to talk about it.
I know, but input is nice sometimes.
I already gave Matt a great story about input earlier.
Don't talk about fucking Matt on the Poodcast.
No, it involves the Chinese mafia.
No sexual relations allowed in the Poodcast offices.
Matt described it as the most insane thing he's ever heard. How are you not on drugs, Brian?
Jesus fuck. Alright, we're moving on then. I'm sure you don't want to share that. Or do you?
I really don't.
Alright.
Was it regarding a certain someone?
No.
Okay.
It involved Lucky Charms, though.
Alright, we're moving on. So day one, I went to Shinjuku. Everyone who's seen that new film, Your Name, should know Shinjuku. The fucking main, like, male lead lives in Shinjuku. And despite it being an animated film, it's very true to life. There are a bunch of stores with the name Lumen on them. One of them is called Lumen 2.
The backgrounds in that movie are basically just photos.
Yeah, they really are.
Redrawn.
Yeah, it's a typical trend in Japanese animation.
Everything about that movie was true. Like, the vending machines, the fact that everyone has an iPhone, the fact that everyone uses Line to talk. Like,
yeah, you didn't know
uses
Line
Google
is,
Maps.
like, super popular.
No, I knew about Line. I just didn't expect literally every single person to use it.
It's really good.
I've used Line. It's actually, like, really nice. It's better than, like, any other messaging app that's, like, big with the kids.
Japan needs to...
I would like to see... Does Line have, like, an English version? I don't think it does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
Line is in English.
I want to try it out now.
It's way better than fucking WhatsApp or Kik or Messenger.
Okay.
Maybe not as good as Messenger. But, like,
is this on, like, the Google Play Store?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna get that shit right now.
Remember, kids, add us online. We're really top
Add
of
me
the...
online. My username's fuck my ass, Bill Murray.
Line, free
Bill
calls
Murray.
and messages. Install. 500 million downloads. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Shit. This shit's bigger than Pokemon Go. No, it's not.
Ryan's gonna become a real otaku today.
A small Japanese girl.
You-
Overnight, just like that. But we went to Shinjuku, and we went to a bunch of different shops and ramen places and stuff. I ate at a ramen place, and I burnt my tongue, but that's beside the point. It was really good. You know, the whole trip, fucking... Greg Super Honey Pop Woodsman was grilling me the whole time because he thought I was eating food that wasn't Japanese enough, even though he was taking me to Japanese restaurants and I was just eating exactly the same thing they were eating. But, like, fuck him for calling me out on that when the first place he takes me to is this ramen place where they serve me essentially Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
All it was is chicken and chicken broth and noodle. Fucking crack open a can of Campbell's. It's the same thing. Except the noodles are longer.
Yeah, you said you used a fork and George gave you a hard time about it.
Yeah, oh, here's the other thing. So I come from an Italian family. Because I'm not a fucking weeb. And so I asked for a fork to eat noodles. Because I really have not used chopsticks, like, ever before in my life. And no one in Japan gives a shit if you ask for a fork. It's only your Baka Gaijin friends who want to act superior to you because they're sitting right next to you.
Like Greg Woodsman.
Yeah. Which, by the
He
way,
says he doesn't like anime, but he really likes Japan.
he is such a closet weeb. It is.
It's very obvious.
He doesn't want to admit it, but it's,
Everybody message him on Twitter.
call him a fucking weeaboo. Yeah.
All caps. Tell them a Shadow Link sent you.
Pood Channel 5 sent you their way.
Oh,
that is
man,
the name of the Discord.
It is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Pood Channel 5. The new MST3K is not good. Anyway, after that, we went to like a little cafe place, and I had a slice of what they called apple pie, but really it was more like apple baklava. But here comes the more interesting part. I went to Club Sega. I went to a bunch of arcades, and yep, arcades over there are certainly more prominent, and they certainly have more video games than we'll ever have. There's a shitload of rhythm games. There's a shitload of fighting games. They had Tekken 7. They had the you know the Star Wars battle pods they have in like Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, I've used one of those.
They had one, but it was Gundam battles. And they were all linked together.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen those. Those look really cool.
They have new Mario Kart arcade cabinets and stuff like that. Oh, it was real cool. It was real neat. But I was getting kind of fucking sleepy because up until that point, to give sort of a bit of context, we got really cheap tickets to Japan, and the way we did it was we went on Air China, and so we had to have a 14-hour layover in Beijing before coming to Tokyo. And like between getting up the day of going on my flight to Beijing and going to bed like that night, the night I arrived in Tokyo, I had which was like 3 days, by the way, or at least 2.5 with the time zone differences. I'd only slept like 3 non-consecutive hours.
Oh my god.
And at one point I didn't eat for like half a day, so I was just fucking dead. Like, I was so out of it. It wasn't great. So me and my friend Pat, who's a sweet boy. He's a lovely sweet boy. He's Finnish, but he knows Japanese, and he was the real lifesaver. Like, he could speak full Japanese. And we were walking out of Club Sega, and he starts excitingly tapping my shoulder and pointing, and he goes, "Conan O'Brien, Conan O'Brien." And I told you guys this earlier, but it's still a great story. Fucking Conan O'Brien is walking down the street right in front of me. And it's just, like, it was undeniably him. I know that's a thing that people do, where they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw a name drop celebrity here." And then you always see those fucking pictures, though, of people who are like, "Oh, I met Hannibal Buress," but it's like, no, you just found a random black guy at 7-Eleven. and you're just racist enough to mistake him for Hannibal Buress. And
is this referencing what I think it's referencing?
Yeah, I'm referencing a direct post where some person just ran into a random black guy and was like, "Oh, I found Hannibal Buress," and like tagged him in everything, and it barely looked like Hannibal Buress.
It really did.
But Conan O'Brien's very, very specific looking. He's got the red pompadour. He's like a really like lanky guy, but he's also like 7 feet tall. And I think like the height is what made it really fucking obvious that it was him than anyone else. If he wasn't 7 feet tall, I'd have my doubts.
Oh really? He's tall?
He's really fucking tall.
Oh my god, I've been thinking he was short.
No,
Really?
if you
It's the way he looks and when he's sitting down in his
yeah.
pose.
No, if you watch him like talking to other people, like when he's standing up and walking about, he is a tall motherfucker. That man could have been a basketball player. The palest basketball player alive.
All right, I installed Line.
Oh my god. And also, like, I checked on the Conan
My
YouTube...
god, he's 6'4".
Yeah, and I checked on the Conan YouTube page, and they weren't airing between March 30th and April 7th, so it's totally possible that on the night of April 3rd, he was just in Japan. Could have totally happened. Who knows?
Jesus.
But, so I opened up Google Maps to go on the way back to the Airbnb, and for some reason Google Maps didn't take me to the nearest train station. It took me to the one town over. So I had to go through like a bunch of shady alleyways that Google was fucking telling me to go through, and to simply put it, they put me through Whore Alley. Like, there's no other way of putting it. There was just prostitutes all over that fucking alley. And that's not me making really bad judgment of character. Like, it was just, like, at least over 15 women just in the same alleyway, all dressed basically the same, like, ready for a night out on the town, or at least in. And,
Oh my god.
and they like at least every half a minute, like, one would try to approach me in the same exact manner, and I was just like, no, I just want to go home. I just want to go home and sleep. Because that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Because, fun fact, tourists don't get mugged in Japan because Americans have a stereotype of fighting back.
Oh.
So they usually try to get you through prostitution, as they also do in America anyway. Because, I mean, when you're in the middle of a hot and heavy, you're really indisposed. Like, there's really not much you can do at that point. Except, you know, finish.
Unless, like, you got your buddy watching in the corner.
Oh, he just likes to watch. Wink, bodyguard.
He's here to make sure you don't pull some shady shit.
So what Brian's saying is he'd like to be in the corner?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big guy. Trust me, we can take her.
What, when you guys don't do the diddly do, you don't have some guy standing in the corner with a pair of brass knuckles just in case things go
Let me
south?
tell you, after I played Yakuza 0, I learned
my God.
you need a guy in the corner to make sure things go right.
Oh, I went to the batting cage from Yakuza 1.
Oh, you
And
did?
it's like exactly the same as it is in game. Like, even the surrounding area is like, it's mapped out. It's so fucking surreal to see in real life. It's like, it must be the same feeling like my friends had when I invited them. Like, I had some friends from Texas come up and visit New York City, and they were like, wow, this looks like GTA 4. Like, video games get real life locations. Even when they fictionalize them, they usually get, like, pretty good, honestly.
I wonder if I can find the cafe from Indigo Bros.
I wonder if you can find any the 90-degree turning railroad tracks in Chicago.
I wonder if you can find the orphanage from Indigo Prophecy that the protagonist and the antagonist do a Dragon Ball Z fight on.
Oh my
God damn it.
Use the iPhone version as your guide. But yeah, I got back to the Airbnb. I immediately conked out, but I woke up as soon as Pat and George and the rest of the gang showed up. And there was a lot of sliding doors in the Airbnb. One went from the bedroom into the living room, and strangely, right behind the couch in the living room. So as soon as they all, like, sat down and got settled in the living room, I just opened up the sliding door and went, boo, I'm a fucking yokai. And spooked them. Spooked them real good. And then they were like, are you a Yoko? And I'm like, yeah, it's John Lennon's wife here. Like, what's up? Here to spook you. Day 2, I got that breakfast I told you guys about. And then I also went to one of those restaurants where they have the motorized tray that brings you out your food.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like you tap out your order on a tablet and then it just, like, brings you out your food. No human interaction until you pay. And I ordered a kids meal. They had this for $6. They had the kids set, which came in a cardboard school box, school bus box, and one tray had like sushi on it, and I ate that, and the other had like an apple juice box, French fries, chicken nuggets, and like beef. Like it was all just, and of course I didn't want to be fucking yelled at for eating Bakagaijin food, so I gave Pat and George the other tray with all the French fries and stuff. That was tasty. That was good. That was nice. That night I went to Akihabara, and I went to it's a Soft Map, which is an entertainment store, and for some reason in Akihabara there's like 3 of those stores on the same street. I don't know why, but stores in Japan are fucking weird. They're great, don't get me wrong, but like the selection of stuff they will have is completely random. Like first floor, beauty supplies and rice cookers. Second floor, video games. And the video game store stuff is really great. Like video game stores work in Japan the way I wish they worked around the world. Like as opposed to if you go to Best Buy here and you go like, oh, there's like the console, maybe a couple of games, like an accessory or two, and then you have to go to maybe the TV home audio section for overpriced shitty HDMI cables. Like they'll have a wall of PlayStation games, a wall of Nintendo games, a sliver of Xbox games, because they fucking hate Xbox over there. Oh my god. And then they'll have a wall of accessories for each console, and then they'll have a wall of just, like, miscellaneous cables and stuff, and it's like, holy shit, it's like you're one-stop shopping there. I picked up, it was an HDMI switch box that's micro USB powered. I didn't even know that was possible, but it was, and I got it, and it's super tiny, and it's great, I love it. But yeah, they also really, like, despite retro collecting, like retro game collecting not being big over there, like retro games cost next to nothing in Japan, and you can get them at like used bookstores and stuff. They still sell like new consoles and controllers and cables for all the old stuff. You can buy the Retro Freak, which is an emulation console. You can buy like mini compact versions of like the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. You can get new controllers for all of them. It's really neato. Along with, like, Famicom Mini and Famicom Mini accessories. But hey, Nintendo's ending that. XD, you guys... Oh, it looks like you're gonna have to buy all your games on the Virtual Console now. Boo fucking who.
Did anyone expect them to continue it?
No, I mean, I didn't. I didn't expect anyone to want them. And Nintendo didn't expect anyone to want them either.
Because like NES games are so easy to get nowadays. I didn't think a dedicated box for 30 specific games would do
Well, it's
that
fucking
well.
weird because everyone keeps going like, well, it's for the casual gamer that isn't really in gaming anymore but still wants to play these old classics. But like the people making that argument and the people buying them are not. They're collectors who already own an NES or a Wii or a Wii U or a Raspberry Pi or have the know-how to hook up a Raspberry Pi with all 700 NES games. Like, it's kind of fucking baffling. Like, the NES Classic was supposed to be a limited thing for, like, parents to be like, oh yeah, I remember that, and then just, like, buy their kids.
Yeah.
It's a plug-and-play. If you're a big boy with a credit card and you already know how to play video games and where to find them, fantastic video games and where to find them, go on the Wii shop or the Wii U shop and use the Virtual Console. It's not that fucking difficult.
The NES Classic Edition only existed because they couldn't get the Switch out in 2016 because of like chip shortages and shit.
Oh yeah, totally.
So they needed a product on shelves.
There's some rumor that they're gonna release, like, a newer and bigger NES Classic that has, like, a whole bunch of stuff from all their...
I fucking doubt it.
All their different old consoles, but then here's the thing. It would be like $100, But then for like 50, they'd put all the same games on like a cartridge for the Switch. Which is like, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I like retro game collections, like, for newer consoles. Like, that new Namco thing they announced for the Switch is fucking cool.
It's got Tower of Druga!
It's got Splatterhouse. It's got at least the second Rolling Thunder game, maybe. I don't know if it's got the first one, but it's got the second one. So...
I don't really care for Splatterhouse.
Fuck you!
I played Splatterhouse when I got the Splatterhouse on the 360. It was okay. It wasn't my thing.
Fuck you! Fuck you, Brian. Wind Waker's the worst 3D Zelda game.
I disagree. And we've established why I am right.
No, you haven't.
We've established why we're all fucking morons.
So, in order to save time and not let this boring-ass story of me going to Japan drag on any longer, I'm just gonna talk about the maid cafes. That's all you guys want to fucking hear, is me going to maid cafes. That's all you get. You don't care about the fact that Akihabara has an Alienware store, which...
Alienware sucks. That's the end of it.
It's the fucking weirdest... an Alienware store in Japan. It's so fucking bizarre. They also have an Asus store, a store for, like, Razer gaming accessories. Oh yeah, I didn't finish the soft map thing. So yeah, first floor, beauty supplies, rice cooker. Second floor, video games. Third floor, more video games, including all those, like, big box PC games from the early 2000s that no one could have guessed were ever released in Japan, like Postal 1, or Battlefield Vietnam, or Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. Or SWAT 3, just whatever. Fourth floor, movies. Fifth floor, CDs. Sixth floor, like, manga. And then seventh floor will just be fucking porn. Just straight up.
Me there.
And even crazier, this had to be, this couldn't be coincidence. The women's bathroom was on the second floor with all the video games. The men's bathroom was on the 7th floor. And they also sold portable DVD players on the 7th floor. Just buy your porn and a portable DVD player and go to the bathroom.
Were there
turn
dojins?
up the what?
Were there dojins? 'Cause that's all I'm interested in.
If you go to Book Off, yes.
Okay.
It's so fucking weird. Like, at least with Soft Map, it's, like, secluded to its own floor, though there's nothing actually stopping anyone from walking up if they're not the appropriate age or anything. Like, you can just walk right in, and it's funny because it's, like, so clean and brightly lit because it's also part of the same store. It's the cleanest smut I've ever seen in my life. And then you have stuff like, Book Off, where there's just, like, movies and CDs, and then just right next to all of it is literally just a corner that says, like, again, nothing stopping you. It's just a corner of just, like, dojins and fucking Blu-rays of Chun-Li tit-fucking or whatever. Like, it's all just right there in the open for everyone to see.
Did they have traps for Matt?
Maybe.
No!
Maybe.
Did they have Did they have dojins of Breath of the Wild's jewels? The ultimate trap?
Maybe. Probably. Possibly. I don't know.
Jules isn't a trap. We established this.
We established Jules is a trap.
No.
Yes.
It was my friend. They made a mistake.
And then I told you why their mistake wasn't a mistake.
George and I found a shop called Soft Demand. And you walk in, and it's all DVDs to rent. Like, a third of it is just, like, normal Hollywood movies, and then the rest of it is porn. And then the basement and second floor of the building are these little rooms that you can rent with towels laid out outside. And they also advertise there being a laundromat and a shower. So I guess the idea is that if you're in the middle of Akihabara and you want to waste a good 30 minutes, you can go in, get some DVDs, whack your wiener, fucking blast it all over yourself, and then just, like, clean your clothes and take a shower and leave like nothing happened. I was telling some people last night about it, and I was like, I wonder if they, like, if they pay by the hour or something. Like, I wonder, like, if the amount that you, like, when you rent out a room, if it's, like, it's a, I don't know, like, it's, like, 500 yen every 10 minutes or something. So I wonder if anyone's tried to, like, save time and money by jerking off in the shower. And I wonder if they have a rule against it, like, no ejaculating in the shower. If you have to ejaculate, you must do it in the room with a towel.
How the fuck will they know?
I don't know, maybe they have someone come and check. Maybe they have what Brian said, they have a guy in the corner of the room. Just in case anything goes wrong.
Don't tell anyone, that's my job.
Brian's the towel maid at Soft Demand in Akihabara.
You can't see me though, because I'm looking through the vents.
The most diverse place I went to in Japan was the Tenga Tower. It was just a tower of smut and smut accessories.
I think George showed us this last time.
Yeah, he walked past it last time, and we found it again. And
did you go inside?
I did. I was curious.
Oh my god!
And there was people of every gender, race, age group. Like,
it's a tourist trap.
There was old Japanese women in the porn section. There was black dudes buying body pillows. I mean, and I'm not kidding either. This is shit I saw with my own eyes. I had to stop though. I saw something that was a little unsettling, and I had to fucking leave. I won't say it to make everyone feel safe at home.
Say it, and I'll just cut it out.
Okay.
Fuck!
Yeah. You know what? Just bleep it out. Just bleep out what I said and keep in the reactions.
Welcome to J-List. I'll be your tour
They probably... guide. I don't even know if J-List is that deprived, but as soon as I saw that shit, I was like, I'm fucking out. Bye. See ya. Toodles.
It's just like in the middle, it's just gonna be like...
That fucking video, I love it so much.
So, I went to 3 maid cafes, and again, this is like a George decision. Like he wanted to go to a maid cafe that was like silly and funny and hokey and corny, but like only he does, because maid cafes suck. They're actually really shitty, and you shouldn't do them. They're really, they're $6. Like, there's a $6 cover charge per person whenever you go in, and then all the things they have to sell, it's cafe stuff. It's like parfaits and ice cream floats and stuff, but they're also like way more expensive than they should be. And that's like, you know how earlier I said that food in Japan's really cheap?
Mm-hmm.
Like, overpriced food in Japan hurts more. Like, because in America, there's less of a gap between what normal food costs and, like, overpriced theme restaurant pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go to Applebee's and a burger is $8. You go to, like, Bubba Gump's and a burger is, like, $15. Like, there's still a jump, but it's not as big as, like, the jump from, you know, a couple of dollars for a cup of coffee to, like, $8 for a cup of coffee. It's like, what the fuck? It's ridiculous. And especially when you have to add $6 onto it because of the cover charge. So you end up spending, like, at least $15 to $20 per person. The bill for 5 people just ordering, like, 1 drink per person at this maid cafe came out to $92 for the whole table. And that's a fucking waste of time. That's no bueno. It's just no good. It's not great. I mean, the maid cafe part was kind of cute. It was a bunch of Neko cat girls, and they put cat ear, headbands on our heads, which led to some really good choice images I'm sure you two are familiar with.
Yep.
Brian's gonna put them on the screen. Right now.
And in before no.
He hasn't said it yet, so I guess he's gonna go through with it.
We'll see.
Oh my god.
What if I just, like, post your rap album with badly photoshopped cat ears?
Sure. Alright. Or you could just post the image that I posted myself of me wearing cat ears with, like, Papa Roach lyrics over it.
You'll have to send me the image, though. It's been a while.
Yeah, or the one that Matt Visual took with, like, me looking as fucking pissed off as I did in the background. Which was
Dude, you look like you were gonna fucking kill people in that picture.
That was purposely done, though. As soon as he took the camera out, I was like, let's see how pissed off I can look. I was actually afraid that, like... I was actually afraid it looked really shitty and not real at all. But no, it was like the right amount of just pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the first Maid Cafe. It was okay. Oh, here's the other thing about Maid Cafes. They're not tourist friendly, like, at all. Like, you really need someone to speak Japanese. Like, they... Especially considering there's also maid cafes that are so geared towards the Japanese population that, like, a tourist going in has no reason to be there. And that's the third one I went to. More on that later. But the second one we went to was Wild West themed. But there was no one there. It was just the one woman running the place who was in normal clothes, and then there was someone coughing in the background. That was it. That was everyone there. And we just had a few drinks. We we learned that Polar Bear's Cafe is fucking real.
It's that cafe from Seinfeld.
Yeah, it is. If you don't know what Polar Bear's Cafe is, you should. It's like my favorite show ever. It's my favorite show ever that isn't American or Twin Peaks. And or Game Center CX, and it's a grand old time. It's basically the Seinfeld of anime. And it turns out there's a real fucking cafe licensed after the show. And it's really cute. I posted images of it on Twitter. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. And then the third maid cafe we went to. So here's where things get really bad. So this is like the most why did you do this story of the trip. And the reason being is because it's office lady secretary themed.
Oh no.
Now, here's the thing. When we first heard about the idea, we were really excited. George and Pat were excited because they just thought, oh, maybe that's gonna finally be like the silly, goofy maid cafe concept that like that they've been hoping to visit and goof around in. I realized how actually fucked up it was because first off, you have these waitresses who are, I mean, let's be honest, they're acting like they have a good paying secure job and not just maids at a maid cafe. That's gimmicky. Second, the Japanese work ethic is really fucking sexist. Like, the customers in there are guaranteed to be like middle-aged or older Japanese men living out the fantasy of having a hot secretary they want to bang, bring them parfaits and alcoholic beverages.
Yep.
By the way, those aren't assumptions. I was right. Which Pat and George didn't catch on to until like the day we were actually like walking up to the maid cafe, and Pat said, and I quote, "I've been thinking about this in my head, and the best case scenario is they say no foreigners, and just make us walk away at the door." Like, because the problem being is that irony and sarcasm are two things that are not a thing in Japan. If a bunch of fucking giggling Gusses who are also tourists were to just come in First off, the maids would be thinking we're making fun of them. Because they don't realize we're just laughing at how stupid we are. And we'd also be ruining the days and experiences of the customers who are also sitting there trying to just blow a load off.
Oh no.
So Pat and George were like, okay, we're just gonna peek our head in, and unless they sucker us in, we're just gonna like peek in and turn away and leave. We got suckered in. As soon as they opened the door and they let us into the place, there was an audible gasp and chuckle directed at our way as soon as we walked in. The lady at the door covered her mouth and bent down to hold back actually fucking laughing. Because we were so out of place. But what made that scene... I didn't give a shit. I thought it was the funniest thing on the planet. But what made it even better was just how uncomfortable George and Pat looked. They did not want to be there, and yet we were there. So we sit down, and still, every couple of minutes, there will be, like, a dude dressed in, like, business casual clothing looking over to us, giving us the fucking side glare, and also, like, chuckling at how stupid we are. Because all these other guys have, like, button-up shirts and ties and slacks, while we have, like, a Finnish blonde man wearing a David Cronenbergian shirt. We have George in flannel. And I just clearly came back from Disney. Because I had the big Disney bag with Mickey Mouse on it. I went to Disney. I had to. Tokyo Disneyland is 20 minutes from Akihabara. Like, why wouldn't you go? It's a fucking good day trip. You go on the Haunted Mansion. You hear a small Japanese child in the background go, "Skeleton!" And it's the best. It's amazing. Good atmosphere. 10 out of 10. I like it. You go on Star Tours. Everyone, C-3PO speaks Japanese. Darth Vader speaks Japanese. But you don't give a shit. It's fun. It's fun.
I'm picturing the scene in my head.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's that mental of an image. So a waitress came over, and she had a clipboard with a pen on it, wrote down our names, exchanged business cards with us. Which, by the way, her business card had her Twitter handle on the card. I now follow her on Twitter. I've been so tempted to be like, do you remember at Super Bunny Hop? And just be a piece of shit like that. And then we ordered our drinks, and she came back, and then there was just like a minute of just silence because we didn't know what to talk about. Because the whole point of the restaurant, the whole concept is that all of the waitresses are secretaries at a business that you own. But like, we don't know much about how Japanese businesses work. And we didn't want to, like... Or at least Pat and George didn't want to, like, bullshit together, like, a fake, like, let's talk about the trade tariffs on George socks for Bunny Hop LLC or something. Like, they didn't want to do that. I did, however. So Pat just asked about Akihabara and, like, the Mario Kart drivers that have been going around. You guys know about this shit. George asked his favorite standby question, which is, what do the Japanese women think about Donald Trump? And, I mean, I, of course, had to ask a very important question, which is their you know, critical opinion on the 2004 live-action film adaptation of Devilman.
Oh, God!
I gotta know. I have to know. It's a dire question. And so we just kind of shot the shit for half an hour. At one point, I looked to my right, and there was a gentleman with a California sweatshirt, just a sweatshirt that said California on it, sunglasses, a snapback, and a vape pen.
Oh my god.
And he was also laughing at us, by the way. And then next to him was like a more portly business gentleman who was actually ordering the waitress, like, how to walk over to deliver their drinks. Like doing the slow, sultry walk, holding the glasses up to each side of her face, and then, like, giving him the fuck me eyes while walking over. It was quite a show. I was bleeding internally from how hard I was trying not to laugh. Eventually, after like 30 minutes, we wrapped up and we left. Like, the actual story of what we were talking about is not very interesting, and the reason being is because they were so fucking scared of doing or saying anything wrong.
Oh my god.
Like, they were so uncomfortable. And even, like, the waitress they gave us, like, she was a trooper. They probably gave us, like, the most laid-back, like, this is the one we give to customers we're unsure of. Like, to just answer random stupid questions. But, nice person. I wouldn't know, I don't speak Japanese, but she seemed nice. Which is why Pat was all the more scared, because he's the one actually talking for us. He's not the one asking the questions. He has to be the one asking what she thinks of Donald Trump, like, in place of George actually asking.
What fucking awkward boys.
Yeah, and I was just smiling the whole time, because I thought it was the funniest shit. Eventually, we left. After that, we left, and they were still like, "Oh man, let's never do that again." And I was like, I explained to them about the curious characters I saw in there, specifically the guy who was like ordering the girl how to walk, and they were just kind of like, "Oh wow, that's really weird." And I'm like, the bottom line is that we were still assholes in the end for coming in and ruining everyone's good time by being awkward and shitty and out of place. And still going through with the whole thing.
I don't know, the person who opened the door for you seemed to have a good time.
Oh, absolutely. Even the other maids would still, like, peek around the corner and be like, "Oh my fucking god, these assholes are here." Like... It was so many good mental snapshots from that fucking trip. I really don't have much else to say. I went to the Capcom bar. It's a restaurant themed after Capcom menus. Capcom games. The menu's cool, but like you can just go on the Capcom bar website and look at the menu if you're really curious, because it's doing that is better than me describing the menu ever could. And the only story I have from that is the fact that we ordered the Phoenix Wright, like, objection courtroom pizza. And when the waitress brings out your food, she went, "Objection!" which is really cute. In English, too, by the way.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This pizza had like little bits of seaweed on it that were cut out to look like the Japanese objection, splash screen.
Yeah.
Sprite, I guess. And but there was a problem. I went with Matt Visual and his wife, and they're vegetarian and not by choice. The Matt Visual has a medical condition; he just can't eat meat, and the way you order things at the Capcom menu is that they have the menu that has all the nice, colorful, like, pictures of all these food items, and then next to it is an orange sheet of paper that has, in English, basically what all these meals consist of. But they listed the Phoenix Wright pizza as being teriyaki pizza. Which, I would say, it's not so obvious what that means. Like, to me, to me and a lot of other people, it just sounds like it's a pizza, but the tomato sauce is replaced with, like, a teriyaki sauce. It's not. It meant that the pizza had teriyaki pork, like, buried underneath the cheese.
I see.
Yeah. And so, I could eat it, and it was really fucking good. It was pricey, but it was really good. But, Matt Visual certainly couldn't eat it. And they wouldn't take it back, and even stranger, they wouldn't let us take it home.
Oh.
So we just had to have like this pizza sitting on the table that we still had to pay for, but we couldn't eat. So we did the next best thing. We folded it over, wrapped it in napkins, and smuggled it out of the place.
Fuck!
And it was really great. At one point, I'm like walking on the subway holding this like half a pizza folded over, wrapped in napkins. And I'm calling like Pat and George to ask what they're doing. And they're just like, oh, we're about to go into a restaurant. And I'm like, oh, because I'm holding half a pizza here. And I was wondering if you wanted any. And they're like, what? And I'm like, never mind. I'll talk to you guys later. And I went back to the Airbnb and put it in the fridge. And Pat had it later on. And he still liked it. Like, the pizza wasn't, like, greasy or soggy. So it still kind of, like, held everything together. It's not nearly as gross as you'd think it'd be.
No. Doesn't sound gross.
Trying to think what else I did. I went to karaoke. That was cool. I went to Polar Bears Cafe. Went to Disney. If you're in Japan, go to Tokyo Disney. It's like a short rides away, and it's cool. I went to a McDonald's. Because you gotta try. Like, let's be honest. You're curious enough. You gotta see what it's like on the other side of the world. And I was ready. I was, like, ready to do my whole order in Japanese and everything. Like, I was fucking pumped. And then I walked up to the counter, and the old Japanese woman that was, like, standing behind the counter, ready to take my order, was immediately swapped out with a younger woman who spoke fluent English with a neutral accent. So all of a sudden, I'm, like, ready to be like, konnichiwa, grand teriyaki burger. And then she's just like, hello, welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you? And I'm just like, grand teriyaki burger, medium fries, cream soda. I'm like, is that to stay or to go? To go. You know, I was just like so like disappointed, but whatever. The food was good.
They profiled you. How did they know you would speak English? It's racist.
I should have just spoke French and totally thrown. I should have spoke Spanish and just spoke Filipino and just completely fucked with them.
Confirmed, we're the worst people.
We really are. Well, we're not that terrible. So here's the fun thing about China. Ooh, spicy. When we were flying into China, they were like, "All right, we're gonna soon land in Beijing." And I opened up the little cover on the window to look outside, and there's all these like beautiful mountains and everything. Like, China looks fucking beautiful from above, but then you just kind of hit a wall of air pollution. And it's just like, boom, instant smog.
Amazing.
Like open up MS Paint, like fill the whole canvas brown, and then just make a big square that's just gray. That's what flying into Beijing is like. And at one point, before we were going to take off from Beijing to go to Tokyo, my friend James was like, oh, can you guys take a picture of me in front of the plane, but with one of your, like, actual cameras? I think my phone would pick up the light from the fog as opposed to me. And a Chinese citizen was standing like maybe 5-6 feet away, and he went, smoke. He had to correct us and be like, oh yeah, we're actually killing the planet. It's not fog. It's not shitty weather. It's just, we're just killing the planet.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was a real tasty treat. Otherwise, Japan's real fun. I also got to experience being crammed into a subway car like a sardine. That's really all I can say about that. It happens maybe twice a day, and you just gotta let it happen.
Oh,
Don't wear a coat. You'll be fucking sweating like a madman because of all the body heat.
I got nothing else.
Well, you said they didn't let you play the Switch, but you snuck it up, played it anyway, right?
Well, okay, so my flight, in accordance with the CAA, the Chinese Aerospace, whatever, yeah, they didn't allow the use of electronic devices on the plane. So, the plan of playing the Switch in the air was totally dead in the fucking water. I couldn't do it. I instead watched Moana and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Shaun the Sheep.
Is Fantastic Beasts decent?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, because
It's
my
worth a
dad
watch.
got it.
I thought it was alright. I think the movie... here I go, going into, like, critique mode. I think the beginning of the film is not that great, and I think Eddie Redmayne can't act, but I think otherwise it's a pretty alright movie.
Okay, because my dad got it recently for me, and he was like, I got you that new Harry Potter universe movie.
Got that new Harry Potter film, bitch.
Because he's a trucker, so he buys a lot of movies. And
Alright.
if he knows there's one I'll like, he'll bring it home. And so it was like, I saw this movie, it was pretty good. I figured you would like it. And I'm like, I've had the screenplay since like November when it came out in book format. I have not read it yet. It just doesn't interest me.
It's fun. It really, I think, I mean, I know they're trying to turn this shit into a trilogy, and I don't know how the fuck that's gonna work, but, like, I was afraid of that. I was afraid that it was gonna be, like, too deep into, like, the stupid Harry Potter lore, and it was gonna be, like, trying to watch Rogue One or something, but no, it actually works pretty well as a standalone film. Like, of course they'll have a moment where you're like, Grindelwald, and you're like, what? Like, who the fuck is this? But, whatever the fuck his name is. But yeah, it's just, otherwise, it's a fine movie. It's cute. Eddie Redmayne can't act, but it's cute.
Alright,
He does that thing that, like, children do in movies, where they try to act whimsical, so they just whisper at everyone. They're like, this is the Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. And it's like, dude, speak up. They're humans. You can talk to them. They're not fucking cats. You don't have to whisper at them.
Okay.
Moana's bad, though. Don't watch Moana.
My sister... I'm gonna watch Moana because I am slightly interested.
It's not, like, Frozen bad, but it's if I had a nickel for every time a joke in that movie fell flat, I could remake the movie with the same budget. It's not great. I do like the song "You're Welcome" though, the one the Rock sings. That's actually like a really well-made, catchy tune.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's a really addicting song.
And it's not even like shitty earworm addicting. It's just like an actual good song.
I thought Moana was fine.
It's a Disney movie. They're all like...
It's better than Frozen.
Yeah, no, it is better than Frozen.
It's better than every Disney movie in the recent years.
Zootopia?
What do you mean? Cars 2 was a masterpiece.
It's better than every movie they've put out since Tangled.
I don't know if I'd say that. I still liked Zootopia more than Moana.
No.
I mean, it can't be Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, but... But, like, it's yeah, I wish I did. But, like, I don't know, I watched Moana, then right after I watched Shaun the Sheep, and Shaun the Sheep is, like, holy shit, it's fucking great. Like, you have these Disney movies that nowadays try to rely so heavily on, like, jokes and shitty pop songwriting. And, like, just really bad written dialogue and all that. Like, when I mean jokes, I mean like dialogue jokes. But then you watch something like Shaun the Sheep where there's not even a single word of dialogue in the entire movie, and it's way fucking funnier, and it's way more entertaining, and it's way more heartwarming. Like, it's like, holy shit. And it was clearly made on like a quarter of the budget of Moana. Like, it's... Oh man, Aardman. I fucking love Aardman. I mean, Chicken Run's not that great, but like, everything else they do is pretty good.
Like, I don't think I'll ever hate an animated movie as much as one that I happened to catch a glimpse of because my family was watching it because they have terrible taste in movies. But like, Illumination Entertainment's Sing is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god. That movie, like, that movie and The Secret Life of Pets last year were like the most generic, like they looked like someone opened up a TV tropes page for every single animated kids film and just decided to make like 2 movies based on those like all those tropes. Like they looked so fucking bland and forgettable.
It's just a pop song after a pop song after a pop song after a pop song.
Let me ask you.
That's how the story moves forward.
Let me ask you.
What?
Would you rather watch the Emoji Movie?
I haven't even fucking seen the Emoji Movie.
I know, but would you?
We don't even know what the Emoji Movie is.
I need
yet.
another. Give me another bad movie that I've seen. That is actually out.
There's a good chance the Emoji Movie might actually be better than Wreck-It Ralph 2, and that fucking hurts my insides.
Would you watch Pixels?
Yes.
Yes, actually.
I would watch Pixels over Illumination Entertainment's Sing any day.
Is it bad that Pixels actually wasn't that fucking horrible of a movie?
No, Pixels is horrible, but it's a
dumb, shitty action movie. That's really all it is.
It's very watchable. It's horrible, but it's very watchable.
It's not the Adam Sandler comedy everyone was expecting it to be, despite it being an Adam Sandler comedy. Like it had
Adam Sandler looks like he wants to die in that movie.
He does. Like I guess Sony was like, we want to make this film watchable by everyone because it doesn't have a lot. Like it has like, you know, like oh, there's Adam Sandler with his like famous SNL friends, like just doing stupid shit together, but like. It doesn't have the same shitty bad jokes that like if you watch something like That's My Boy or Jack and Jill, like it was just not good, but it was also not a shitty Adam Sandler comedy.
Somebody fucks Qbert in that movie.
Oh yeah, that is true.
My mom fucking loves Jack and Jill. I don't know why. She says, oh wait, I do know why. She says if you don't get Hispanic or Mexican culture, it's you won't like this movie. But if you're like me and grew up in Mexico and El Paso, it's a hilarious movie. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Have you guys seen That's My Boy?
God, no.
That's My Boy might actually be the worst movie I've ever seen in like theaters.
Do you guys feel like I want to die?
Do you guys know what the epic twist of That's My Boy is?
What?
So the plot of That's My Boy is Adam Sandler is a fucking recluse, of course. It's like the plot of all these fucking movies. And his kid, who is played by Andy Samberg, which I think is a joke in of itself. That, oh, it's Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg. It's like a whitest kids you know joke. But, so Andy Samberg's getting married to like this rich girl, and so the whole premise of the movie is that they go to the rich girl's like family's like vacation house for the week, and Adam Sandler comes along because he needs money or something, and and of course it's wacky because he doesn't belong there. But the big epic twist of the movie is that this is so fucked. No, I forgot the big opening premise of the film, which is the reason why Adam Sandler has this shitty kid is because he fucked his teacher in like 7th grade. So the movie's premise is already like statutory rape, but then here's the big twist and climax of the film is that the woman that Andy Samberg is trying to marry is cheating on him with her brother.
Okay.
It's like, who the fuck wrote this? It's the worst thing ever. It's so horrible.
I long for death's cold embrace.
So that's the plot of Persona 5.
Actually.
I love how we went from, like, China to Andy Samberg and Stanley Amber and Sandy Hook and Sandy Cheeks.
Someone was actually asking for us to talk about Persona 5.
Okay, so Brian, I
Brian,
found
the
out
only
something.
person who's played Persona 5. Talk about Persona 5.
I found out something though, Brian.
What?
What?
Naomi Kimishima's voice actor is in that game.
The English voice actor
Yeah.
for Naomi?
Yeah.
Is she, let me see. Naomi?
She plays Tei Takemi, the doctor, whatever.
The doctor, okay.
The
It
one
would've
with the
been
short
fun.
hair.
Yeah, the one everyone wanted to fuck, but I ended up fucking my teacher.
Wow, it's like That's My Boy. It really is the plot of Persona 5.
There are so many benefits to fucking your teacher in Persona 5.
Someone
I
put that on a
won't
t-shirt.
lie.
Someone put that on a t-shirt right goddamn now.
There are so many benefits to fucking your teacher in Persona 5.
But yeah, as of now, there are 2 voice actors in that game that I really like, so I'm very tempted to buy it. Oh god.
Oh no.
Matt, it's a real. They try to actually implement some like mainline Shin Megami Tensei techniques, like you know, the baton pass. They put it in Persona 5,
Oh my god. I might actually like Persona 5.
and instead of just baton passing to the next character, sometimes you can baton pass to. You can choose who you baton pass to. So you can actually have the
Okay.
same character go like twice in a row if you baton
Okay, that
pass them.
fucking sucks.
Well, I mean, it really depends. Like, if you hit someone with fire and then you don't have the right skill, you can baton pass to someone who has thunder, or the main character, so they can just exploit the other weakness and do an all-out attack. So
Alright.
it makes battles like much easier in that regard, but
As long
it's,
as they're not fucking Persona 3's battles. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. It's much closer to 4.
Persona 2's battles were better than Persona
I have a question
3's.
about Persona 5. How long does it take until the game actually starts? Because Persona 4 has a really bad problem with that.
It depends on how much stuff you do.
It does, and it depends on if you skip cutscenes. It does what Persona 4 did, in that it throws a battle at you really early. So it does throw some gameplay, and it does get you playing relatively quickly. I'd say you probably go to the first dungeon much faster than you do in Persona 4.
How many hours?
You're in the first dungeon within an hour.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Like that's fine. That's the answer I was looking for. Because Persona 4, like, I don't know, I don't get how. I mean, I guess if you really love the game, like, I get it. But like, for the casual player, like, I remember people telling me, like, oh, you should play Persona 4 on the Vita, and I'm like, no, I'm playing it on the PS2, and they're like, you should start it again on the Vita, and I'm like, no fucking way. Like, 3 hours. Like, people have bitched at me about the opening of Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, that's only 20 minutes, and you can skip it. And it's also, like, a cutscene. Like, Persona 4 is just 3 fucking hours of talking, and you can't skip any of it. You can kind of, like, spam the button and try to skip individual lines of dialogue, but, like, no, you have to go through that entire opening, and it takes fucking forever.
In Persona 4 Golden, there's a fast forward option.
I doubt it speeds it up that much quicker.
It does speed it up. It's because it is like actually playing it on fast forward, and it skips all the dialogue. I mean, you see it pop up, but because it's fast. So it's like Persona 5 has the same thing. My main gripe is that it's not as common as in Persona 4, because in 4 you could pretty much fast forward everything. In 5, there are moments where you can't fast forward or skip at all. You just have to mash through the text.
Is that when the villains do 10-minute expositions?
No. These moments are, like, very rare. They're, like, usually barely a minute to 5 minutes. When the enemies are doing their expositions, you can fast forward.
Okay.
When there's a cutscene, you can skip it completely.
Because I don't like games treating me like I'm stupid.
Yeah.
The game does throw tutorials at you. They're not really intrusive. You can just, like... It's not like Pokemon's tutorials.
I don't mind tutorials as much as I do, like, explaining.
They're closer to Breath of the Wild's
symbolism.
tutorials.
I don't mind tutorials as much as I mind explaining themes and symbolism until even the most dumb person can get it.
So basically, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
No!
So, the one thing I don't like, going from 4 to Golden to 5, the gameplay doesn't really change that much. Like
that's your fault for playing Golden, you fuck.
So, usually at the end of, like, battles in Persona 3 or 4, there was a card minigame. They replaced it completely with demon negotiation from earlier titles. It is nice to have demon negotiation back. Sometimes the demons will talk to you first, which is something that's, like, even in Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Yeah.
So it does play a lot closer to, like, actually Shin Megami Tensei 4. Like, the only thing that's really missing is, like, smirks. That's really it. They did
good
make
exploration.
They did make it so your light and dark skills are now either insta kills or deal damage. They brought back nuclear and psi damage from older Shin Megami Tensei games.
There's a reason they stripped that out.
It does add a lot more guesswork to the formula. My only complaint with the gameplay is every battle in Persona games since pretty much the first one, and I talked to you about this, Matt, is so there's a very familiar structure to the music in JRPGs. Where
No, it's Persona 3, you fuck.
There's very
the first Persona has normal JRPG music. The second Persona has normal music. It's the third one where it becomes very structural.
No. I actually did listen to other video game music just to see if this was true. So in your typical JRPG, within the first minute, your song's going to go through 3 different phases. The first one will hit about 15 to 20 seconds in. The second will hit about 45 to 50 seconds in. Oddly enough, if the song is slower, the quicker those phases change. The faster the song is, the slower those phases change. Now in Persona 3, those phases began to follow a very similar structure. The first 15 to 20 seconds are just the encounter theme. Then the lyrics start to be introduced, and then
I
picks
fucking
up.
lobotomize my skull.
Then the actual song picks up as a whole, and you see the momentum from that first phase to the second phase is relatively the same in Persona 3 and 4, and I even tried it out with Lost Odyssey and Final Fantasy 13. Because this is like a more recent trend in JRPG music. It's not that common in older ones. Like, even Zelda doesn't follow it. Because it's not really a JRPG. But
I was like, what?
But, I mean, because you would assume, like, it is something you would keep. And this is with your main battle theme, mind you, right? Mm-hmm. So, in 3 and 4, during that first phase change, the momentum's relatively the same, but in Persona 5 the momentum completely dies. It just like goes out the window, because at this point the music is actually supposed to build up for that third phase of music, but because battles can take less than 50 seconds, most of the battles will end during that low momentum part of the music. So for me, that results in battles kind of feeling lesser than they should be. Because, like, I think if you have a good battle theme, even if you as an individual don't really like that music, it will still make the battle feel very high action, right? Like, very fast. Like, I think Xenoblade Chronicles did that pretty well.
No.
It did for me. There were, out of all the battle themes, I only
Choice
liked
music tracks.
I only liked
did it.
one or two of the first one, not the second one.
I only like one battle theme in that game, and it's the one that has the least guitars.
I really love You Will Know Our Names.
I hate that song. I'm sorry.
But even when You Will Know Our Names isn't playing, like, battles still have like a very high momentum feel to them because of the music playing and because of how appropriate it is. I understand someone out there will say less is more, and that's definitely the case here, but no, you're wrong. I feel like less is more in battle themes really only works for boss battles.
Less is more doesn't apply that much to music, honestly.
It really doesn't, unless like you're building up to something.
Yeah,
right?
like a build up, you want to have less and introduce more steadily throughout the build up. But for music, the less tracks you have, the less engaging the song will ultimately be. Like a simple piano piece is going to be less engaging than like a full orchestra.
Unless, like... But it really depends on how much meaning you give that part of the piece. Because in Persona 4, like the final boss fight, it's very quiet and it's very loud. So
it's very boring.
It's very... So, like, it plays like a bunch of flute instruments. And every now and then you'll hear some... what do they call? You'll hear like a trumpet, I guess, or like a tuba. I don't know how you could get those mixed up, but you'll hear that type of instrument to like
horns.
Bust.
Just call them horns.
You'll hear a horn. I'm pretty sure we called them something else in middle school, and I'm trying to think of that specific. It's what you would refer to trumpets, tubas, and like a saxophone. Brass instruments. That's it. You'll hear brass. Right. You'll hear brass instruments like every few seconds to like. So it'll be like bump, right? Like it'll do like a few notes, and then there'll be that big thud. And then like around 5 minutes in, the music gets very quiet, but it also kind of it slowly leads into the game's main theme, orchestrated. And when you hear that, it's like because you've been hearing that fucking theme for like 80 hours by this point. It has like new meaning because of the way it's being, because of how like they're giving it new meaning by basically making it orchestrated and working it in with this otherwise sinister theme. So even if you don't really like it, it does give that battle like this epic end feel. And right at that part where it becomes orchestrated, I've noticed a lot of people tend to have their party members die during that part. So they'll revive them. And so for a lot of players, it's this moment where they feel like I can overcome this boss battle, right? And I think that's like a very clever way of using boss music and actually having less be more. And then, of course, like the actual, it really kicks in a little bit afterwards. But I think that's a really good instance of less being more. But that's also a very significant battle in the game. You're not just fighting like 5 Jack Frosts. Mm-hmm. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you had that low moment while you were fighting 5 Jack Frosts, it would feel very out of place.
Yeah, for boss themes, they can go slower because they tend to be longer battles.
Yeah, you can count on the player being there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And with Shin Megami Tensei, they're definitely going to last you like 10 minutes, maybe 20. It really depends on the boss.
The final boss themes of Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse are almost 7 minutes long each.
Yeah, the final boss theme for Persona 4 is about 8 minutes long, and you're going to hear it loop like 2 or 3 times because of that how long that boss is.
Why can't every JRPG be Shin Megami Tensei 4 and have like 20 different battle themes?
Why can't every Japanese film be Devilman?
Oh yeah, Matt, I was showing you this for a fact. Like, Shin Megami Tensei 4's battle theme has different phases like every 20 seconds.
Yeah, it has different phases, but it's way, way fucking faster.
Oh yeah, it's much more high momentum.
The thing I'm talking about with the Persona games after 3 is all of their battle music is really slow.
Okay, my family's back. I might have to cut it there.
I mean, we've been going on for a fucking while.
Yeah, we've been going on a while, so
1 hour and 30 minutes. I think we're good to stop.
We just do a quick ending and we're good.
Yeah. On the next Pood, we'll talk about how much Alex Jones is a fraud or not. Again. Good night, folks. Have fun.
Bye. See, toodaloo.
The morph into terrible human being. Wait, that's just me.